really stood out and impressed Coach Craig Starcevich. And speaking of that midfield for Brisbane, well, I want to pose the question back to you guys in the box. Do Collingwood need to pay special attention to Ali Anderson tonight, given last week?
Absolutely they do. Given Ali Anderson's numbers last week, they were phenomenal. You can't ignore that result, that performance last week, and she's only getting better.
And what a matchup we have ahead of us tonight. It looks like Michaela Cann is going to Ali Anderson in the middle, and we know Michaela Cann's in the ball, so cannot wait to see how that one unfolds tonight. So here we go. It's Friday night footy in Springfield. Brisbane looking to get their second win of the season, and the Pies trying to find their first, and immediately out of the centre it is a free kick going Collingwood's way to Bree Davey, who made a return from an ankle injury last week against Hawthorn. Phenomenal player she is in this competition. Can send the Pies up towards half forward. We're looking for a bright start here as the sun sets at Springfield. Chance for the Pies in attack. Can feeds out the handball to Ivy. A bouncing ball towards the top of the square. Conway's there, under pressure immediately by James, and we'll have a stoppage at the top of the square.
James did a really good job then, not letting the ball exit. Just was really clever with the tackle as well. Didn't give away a free kick. They've got a stoppage in front of goal now.
2-on-1 there in favour of the Pies. The Lions did well in the end not to give away the free kick. Ellinger is under the pump. He's caught and he's going to be pinged. Holding the ball. Collingwood with the early territory advantage. And the Pies can have the first real look at the goals. You don't often see shy Jade Ellinger run down from behind too often.
Yeah, no, and she had an exceptional game last week. Just that intercept work across the half-back line. Just a little bit slow to dispose of it, and Porter was all over it. Now she's got a shot on goal. Realistic chance for goal here in the opening minute of the game.
And a real integral member of the Collingwood side for the past 5 seasons, Alana Porter, starts right, swings back superbly, jumps high in the air for Collingwood's first goal.
Well, that was a fantastic finish there, and then looked a bit wobbly off the boot, didn't it? The ball dropped a little bit skewiff to the right, but it swung back beautifully. There was a bit of a breeze out there today, but that's the perfect start there for Collingwood. Just a couple of undisciplined moments there from the Brisbane Lions. Gave away the free kick in the centre circle, which gave Davey the opportunity to bring the football back inside 50. And then the free kick there that was given in front of goal there to Porter. Fantastic work by the Collingwood Pies. Really good start off the back of their start of their season.
This is our Chemist Warehouse goal replay. A hot start to the Pies in the first minute here at Springfield. They get the first goal of the game through Porter and Shire. Sabrina Frederick was interviewed on the club website during the week, and she said, "We just love playing Brisbane. We just love that. No matter where we are on the ladder, we absolutely love playing Brisbane." Of course, the former Queenslander. And this is just the dream start for them. So Pies for the opening goal. Back in the middle we go. Dawes had a play at it. There is a free kick for a hold. First real opportunity forward of halfway for Brisbane. Kick out wide into the path of Hickey. He's got some space on Frederick. We'll look to bomb it long inside forward 50. Where are the tall targets for Brisbane? Slasher hands to it. Could it reel in the mark? It gets out the back. Atkinson back in the lineup this week. Tackled by Hodder. All pinballing around. And Benici sends it out of the danger zone to a contest. Off hands. Campbell was tackled as she got the kick away. Poppy bowls the fend off on James. Was it too high? It's holding the ball dispossessed. This is a bright start indeed from Collingwood.
Well, really different performance from the Pies. Well, they're a little bit slow to start the last 2 weeks, but this is fast footy.
Second entry for the Pies came through Slisher. The Brisbane defence under siege. Conan getting back to force a stoppage. Confidence boosting opening couple of minutes here for Sam Wright's side. Hickey won it down off hands. Emerging with it is Campbell. Just up to get a little kick away in the end. Barnett runs onto it. Still looking for that first goal. A little dribbler towards the big six. He's rushed through for a minor. Nat Ryder there to save the day. But Collingwood's tails up in the early stages here at a beautiful Brighton Homes Arena. Perfect night for footy. The 11th meeting between these two sides. Lions with a 6-4 advantage on the head-to-head, but as we saw off the top, Collingwood with the most recent victory. Conway meets it first, but what about the pressure on that occasion from Blair?
Well, this is a fantastic start by the Pies. They're 16th in the competition for tackles each game, and already we're just seeing that tackling pressure from the Pies. They've already laid 6 for the opening 3 or 4 minutes of the game. They'll be really happy with the start.
Gee, got a fist to it. Straight to Anderson. Mentioned a record 43 disposals last week.
Hasn't touched it as yet. In fact, Brisbane have only had 4 possessions so far this quarter.
To Collingwood, a 15-point loss to Sydney in the opening round, a 47-point loss to Hawthorn last week. So far, it started brightly here at Brighton Homes Arena. A couple of repeat stoppages. Frederick, lovely tap down to Benici, scrubs it forward. Collingwood pressing again, James. Conway wrapped up. So Shai, for the opening couple of rounds, what did you notice about Hawthorn, the way that they are playing, and how can they turn around those couple of losses here tonight?
Collingwood, that is.
Collingwood.
I could talk about Hawthorn as well, but yeah, certainly the Pies just being overawed by the pressure around them and not being able to get the footy on the outside. There's been no run, there's no handball received from behind the footy, and they've played very much a kicking game, and it's not how they've wanted to play, it's the way they've been forced to play. So we're curious to see whether they can break that apart tonight.
Anderson trying to run onto it here. He's dispossessed and he's going to be caught holding the ball. So that Collingwood pressure on Song. Charlotte Blair didn't even know that she won the free kick. Geordie Allen was there. There's Dakota Davidson on screen. So she's being manned up by Lucy Cronin, who's playing her 3rd game of footy today. So Davidson coming off 3 goals. Cronin has the job. So a big job for Lucy Cronin tonight. Pies had the ball in the pocket. Kick from James is dribbling. Dunn was able to get there in the path of the footy and see it into neutral territory.
Geez, that was well done by Dunn then. She was running back with the flight of it. Had to read the play essentially in her blind spot. Got the fist up there, brought it to ground. If she didn't, Collingwood had a loose player running into an open goal.
This game not on Brisbane's terms early. Barnett read it first. Kick from Cairns. Centering kick is dangerous. Ellinger able to get the fist through for a behind. That's 3 scoring shots to zip. Early stages here at Brighton Homes Arena.
And Ben, that's 4 inside 50s from Collingwood. Only the 1 for Brisbane, and that was rebounded quite easily by the Pies.
Looking dangerous. Ellinger from the kick in, risky. Get a mark for Grider.
The 7th possession for the game.
Kick to the outer side. Mullins in a one-on-one against Allen. Gets up the back. Ruby Spark there first. Has Rowe for company. O'Dwyer swoops. Send Brisbane to half forward. Postleway read it best. Wanted to play on. Has to get around Slasher. Just got the hand pass away. Lions under pressure early. Here's Anderson. Toe pokes it forward. Hickey the target. Have to turn tackler. Frederick. Hand pass picked off by Grider to Conway. Hand pass to Mullins. Now she's in trouble. Benici got her. And the umpire calls for it.
Well, this is a much better tackling game by the Pies today. Of course, it hasn't been much of a presence in their first opening games of the season, but tonight's a really different performance. Already 11 tackles, Brisbane just the 6.
She might have been a touch unlucky not to win a free kick there. Hodder gets the Lions moving inside 50. Now it's important. Trying to meet it first here is Cronin. Has Davidson for company. Allen fumbled just at an inopportune time, and Davidson pounced and will force a stoppage at Brisbane's right near their goal square here. As we mentioned, a hat-trick of goals last week for Dakota Davidson. Frederick had it stolen by Dawes, who snaps and punts her fist for Brisbane's first goal.
Well, it took them some time, the Lions, to be able to bring their better footy to get to the fore, but they were able to track the footy from defence, from the kick-in. Some really lovely passages of play through the middle of the field, got the inside 50 and were able to retain it in there just through some really good pressure, forced the stoppage, and at the stoppage beautifully set up, and Dawes just stole it out of the hands of the Pies' deep defenders and just snapped it beautifully over her shoulder. What a great finish, and the Lions are on the board.
So the Lions have found the answer. They get their first goal of the evening through Belle Dawes. A couple of goals each way. Friday night footy at Springfield.
You mentioned last week when we did the Melbourne-Brisbane game, Charlotte, that there's just something There's a twinkle in Beldawes' eye this year that she wants to go to the next level.
Absolutely, and you just get the feeling that she wants to be one of the best midfielders in the competition. The way she just plays her footy, she's just up on her toes. Work rates have just gone to another level. I think when you finish like that too, Ben, it just gives you more and more confidence.
From the stoppage, Kathy Spark laying a tackle on Brie Davey. Frederick palms it down, roved by O'Dwyer, slips the tackle and then takes off. Huddle the target, Livingston there with her, collects, close to the line. Is that insufficient intent? Says free kick to Brisbane. They can go forward once more to a dangerous position. Smith, hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. Goes in again. Stripped to the footy. Collingwood come up with it. Davey hacks it out of the danger zone, but it's a throw, so a free kick to Brisbane.
The out of zone umpire there paying that throw.
Looks like Courtney Hodder will be rewarded. An incredible 18 tackles, I think it was, in the grand final last year. Here she is directly in front. Courtney Hodder gives it everything. Just doesn't quite have the accuracy.
Well, we saw there the ball just got held up a little bit in the wind there. A little bit blustery out there.
1 point lead for the Pies. Just under 8 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Over the head of Frederick, that's footy sail. James lurking behind this contest. He can do well to hold it up here on their half-forward line. Conan involved again. Right up in the coaches' votes last week in the Brisbane-Melbourne game was the captain. She was awesome controlling that defensive arc as she has done for many years. Benici also coming off a monster game against Hawthorn, 27 touches. It's a good record against Brisbane too. Dawes bumped off the ball and Campbell brings her opponent to the ground. Nat Ryder not too happy with the treatment. Conan quickly back to her feet. Umpire wasting no time. Hartle goes up in the ruck. O'Dwyer didn't get boot to ball. Turnover. Barnett slams it forward. Big fist comes over the top. Ryder tracking it there with James. Conan again at the bottom of the pack. Pounced on here by Remos. Ryder and Hodder bring her to ground.
Well, there's a bit of effort by Collingwood, that D50 exit. Couple of stoppages, tracking the footy into their forward half. Much better from last week.
Ball's not getting out of there, and we'll do it all again on the wing. Great crowd in here tonight at Brighton Homes Arena. Friday night footy in Brisbane. Huddle in ruck. Palms it down. Hodder again laying another tackle against Rowe. Heavily contested game we've seen in these early stages in this opening quarter. Highly anticipated battle as Davey hands to it. Off to Rowe. Kick smothered by Anderson. Great pressure. Kathy Spark goes in. Trying to feed it out. There's a free kick for a push.
And Anderson hurt herself then in the smother. She's still down on the ground in all sorts of pain. Not sure whether she's been winded, whether she's hurt her hands in the smother, but she is really uncomfortable. Trainers straight out to her and they're getting her off the field.
Just going to hold up play momentarily here as Anderson comes to the bench. Give another look at it on replay. Oh yeah, right in the bread basket, that one. She's smiling as she came off, so hopefully just winded. Spark off to Dawes to half forward. And it's been intercepted by Geordie Allen.
Such a reliable player across the defensive arc, Allen. Short to Remos and working in tandem with Allen again. Kick smothered, beautifully done. Postlethwaite gives the Lions a second look. Davidson immediately met by a pair of Pies. But an opportunity here for the Lions to have a look at a 450 stoppage. Hartle comes racing in, up in the ruck with Barnett. Conway so classy. Deep entry here for Brisbane. Davidson, one-on-one with Cronin. Allen again under the pump deep. Smith meets it first for the Brisbane Lions. Mullins involved. Livingston brings her down.
Postlethwaite was on her own then in the goal square. Little hand pass out. Easy goal just then. Pies got to tighten up a little bit more in defence here.
Smith and Barnett. Barnett Takes it out of the ruck. Smith carefully brings her to ground. Brisbane still within striking distance.
Smith goes after her own footy, is wrapped up. We'll do it all again. Potter trying to find Hampson. Has to turn tackler on Benici. Oh, wonderfully done by Hampson. Snap around the corner to the top of the square. Davidson the target. Livingston just gives it everything and bangs it out of there. Here's Peters on debut against Porter. Won the battle and then takes off. Puts the Jets on down the outer wing. Lines are well set. Grider will get there first under pressure by Fowler. Peters soccers it forward. Ellinger against Benici. Umpire calls for it. Let's get down to Hannah Davies on the boundary.
Thanks, Jess. Just having a look at Ali Anderson. She's back up on the bench now. She came over, sucked in some breath, had some water. She was winded, but she's all good to go.
Thanks, Hannah. Good signs for the Lions. Hodder. Beautifully done to Spark. Kathy Spark with a bounce and with authority takes some territory. Beautiful kick to Smith. Excellent work from Livingston. Didn't give away the free kick according to the ump. But in the end, a late call for a hold will come back to Smith. And it was set up thanks to a terrific run from Kathy Spark.
A little bit of indecision there from the Pies. Kathy Spark, just feel free to take up the grass. It was like she was at the stall gift. No one was near her, and no one wanted to leave their player to put pressure on her. And the entry inside 50 was beautiful. That little fist from Livingston. And then she gave away the free kick and the tug of the jumper afterwards. Did all she could, and beautiful passage of play by the Lions.
In a 50th game last week, Taylor Smith, dual premiership player, 1 goal round 1, 1 goal in round 2. And she now has 1 goal in round 3 as Brisbane take the lead.
Well, Collingwood worked really hard defensively. Then exited the D50 a number of times, but through the middle of the ground, their passage of play forward just broke down, and the Pies were able to intercept. The Lions were able to intercept, and just the way in which they could bring the footy downfield there, just Kathy Spark just stroll on in and just kick it deep inside 30. Thanks very much. And then Livingston did all she could, but eventually gave away the free kick. Beautiful finish in front of goal by Smith, and the Lions got another one.
Made her debut in the competition back in the COVID-affected year of 2020. Played 1 game for the Suns before she was traded to the Lions, and now has a couple of premiership medals to her name. And gives Brisbane the lead for the first time tonight. Back in the middle we go. Dawes to Anderson. Had a fumble. Pushed off it by Davey. Head over the footy. Hand pass couldn't find a target. Spark picks it up. Gives it to Dawes. Trying to find Ruby. Spark. Picked up by Anderson. Back to Dawes again. Chips it forward into the path of O'Dwyer. This is where Brisbane look dangerous. Gets around on the left. Bounces inside forward 50. Livingston playing in front. Pies can look to reload. Rosali has some work to do close to the line. Gives it to Rowe. Just gets boot to ball. And they turned it over. Conan picks it up. Jams it on the boot. Allen is there and happy to see it over the line.
What have you seen change in the Lions in the past 5 minutes or so, Shiloh?
Oh, they've just switched on, haven't they? They've played more Lions footy, a little bit less complacent, just getting themselves to the footy first so that they're not in those contested situations, and just nice, clean ball use when they get the footy. Just their link and run and carry.
Frederick cleanly out of the ruck, but the kick was smothered off the boot. Trying to run onto it there was the Pies. Conway coming through. Just trying to lock it in there. Fed it out, but only as far as Allen. Her kick was smothered, so Brisbane's forward 50 pressure has significantly lifted. Bolt sends it into the arc again. Pies will meet it first. That's going to be another 450 stoppage. Thanks to the tackling of Mullins.
And that forward pressure, as you said, Ben, from the Lions has been outstanding. Even that there was going to be a short exit. Just able to bring the footy to the ground. They got a stoppage.
Frederick with the tap. Dawes overran it. Anderson. Toe pokes it forward. Rowe. Tackled immediately. Another repeat stoppage. Pies with the first goal of the game inside the first minute. Brisbane with the next 2. Pressing again here. Ball is locked up at half forward.
Ben, you asked also what's happening inside the forward 50. The Lions are kicking efficiency around the forward 50 arc. Really lovely. They're travelling at a much higher rate than Collingwood at the moment when they go forward.
Campbell gets booted ball as she was tackled towards the wing. Bolts. Can't keep it alive.
And this is where the Pies forward movement breaks down. That exit D50 kick is just so important, but it's this bit as well where if they can get a stoppage and then how they set up forward of the footy right now, but they just break down through this middle part of the ground, haven't been able to go forward for quite a while now.
Frederick and Hickey to go at it again. Anderson and Davey on each other at this stoppage. Wide of them. Grider bumped off it, but James came through and able to get it away. Pounced on by Anderson. O'Dwyer hooks it around the body. Postlethwaite and Allen, the two number sixes going at it. Davidson, determined, running onto the ball. Umpire deems it a boundary throw-in. No lasso free kick against Dakota Davidson. Yet to register a disposal for the Lions. As we mentioned off the top, big job tonight for third gamer Lucy Cronin on the All-Australian from last year, Dakota Davidson, who's already got 4 goals across the first 2 games. Anderson couldn't get a clean disposal away. You can already tell, Shiloh, that Anderson is not having it her own way, probably compared to last week.
Yeah, a little bit more accountability from Collingwood tonight. They obviously saw last week's vision and thought, well, we might need to be accountable there and maybe give a job to someone, make it a little bit harder for her.
So free kick in the ruck contest to Sabrina Frederick. Off to Rowe, wobbles a kick forward. Brazali made a contest, brings it to ground. Blair, toe pokes it forward. As the siren sounds here at quarter time at Brighton Homes Arena. A bright start to the Pies, but Brisbane hit back and take a 5-point lead into the first break. 2-1-13 plays Collingwood 1-2-8.
There we go, quarter time here at Brighton Homes Arena in Ipswich, up there in Queensland. It's the Brisbane Lions 2-1-13, leading the Pies 1-2-8. There we go, we've got a good game on our hands here so far in the AFLW. Round 3 of the girls' football. Just want to say g'day to Douglas who came in, Harvey, YS, how you going, Squire? Visfield's Brits official. Good stuff. ET, what's going on, young fella? Ryan, how are you, mate? What's happening? There we go. The Pies started off pretty good with a bit of a rush. Got the first few scores on the board, but then, of course, Brisbane's class certainly came through, and they played the second half of that first quarter pretty much down the Lions' forward line. The Pies just had a little bit of trouble getting the ball out. Of course, they got it down to their forward 50 as the siren went, so unfortunately couldn't score there. But Isabel Dawes leads away with 8 disposals on the ground, leading the way 4 kicks, 4 handballs out there, and already kicked a goal, so she's looking pretty dangerous there for the Brisbane Lions. Dwyer next best with 5 with Ali Anderson. Of course, Stacey Livingston, Eliza James, best for the Maggies with 4 touches each, 2 kicks, 2 handballs. And we go and we'll just roll down it a little bit. Grace Campbell there with 3. Taylor Smith there for the Lions just with a couple of touches. Ali Hampson just with a couple as well. Just roll down there. There are your touches. Of course, plenty of players there that haven't touched a ball in the opening term, and they want to certainly get into the game where they can. Of course, we've only had 3 goal scorers, and that being Taylor Smith and Isabel Dawes for the Brisbane Lions. And of course, the sole goal scorer for the Magpies is Alana Porter, and kicking the opening goal there for the Pies. Just a quick look at the team stats, pretty even all the way around. 48-44, just 4 more disposals to the Pies. It's a pretty even disposal game, as I said. Pies came out pretty hard. Brisbane Lions took control in the latter half of that opening quarter, of course, controlling the game a bit more down their forward 50. The Pies' defence holding up reasonably well, though. Kicks, 25-26. Handballs, Pies trying to get a little bit of a run going with the handball, just leading by 3. Inside 50s, though, as you can see, dominating by the Brisbane Lions. Inside 50, 10 times for their 3 scoring shots. It was the Maggies inside 5 times for the 3. So they're doing quite well going inside 50 when they get there. 3 scoring shots from their 5 entries. Efficiency around the ground, a little bit low for both teams there, looking to pick that up a little bit, 30-40% respectively, inside 50 efficiency. Free kicks, not much happening out there, 4-5. The hit-outs, Magpies on top there by 5. Clearances, pretty much the same, 10 apiece. Centre clearances, 2-1 to the Lions. Stoppages, 8-9. Pies by 1 there. Contested possessions, pretty similar, 26-31. Pies by 5 in that department. Uncontested, Pies by 2 in the turnovers. Well, the Pies, as you can see, putting a little bit more pressure on the Lions, 9-7. Couple of marks each in the first quarter. We'll just have a look at the defensive tackles. There we go, 22-26. Of course, defensive tackles, Magpies by 4. Of course, Brisbane Lions controlling a lot of the play in the second part of that opening quarter. Tackles inside 50, both teams doing well. 6 apiece. Always like to see that. Bianca, how you going? Welcome in. How are you all? Good luck, girls. Absolutely. Both teams are playing quite well here. Of course, it's the Brisbane Lions by 5 points here at quarter time. I'll take you back down to the ground now, and they will take us into the second quarter. It's the Brisbane Lions 2-1-13, leading the Magpies by 5 points, 1-8.
2-1-13 to Collingwood 1-2-8. Ben Waterworth with you, calling alongside Jess Webster. Charlotte Curtis, casting her expert eye over everything as well. A great start for the Brisbane Lions. And their coach, Craig Starcevich, is downstairs with Hannah Davies.
Craig, it was a bit of a slow start for the girls in that quarter, but they bounced back pretty nicely. What was the message just now?
A little bit more of the same, but Collingwood, I mean, you know, they've got a lot to play for. They've had a bit of a slow start to their season, so expected that level of pressure from them. But we sort of settled well and provided a bit of pressure ourselves.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers. Thank you.
So a 5-point advantage for the Brisbane Lions. A really hot start in particular for Collingwood from a pressure perspective. As Craig Starcevich noted, now it is the task of maintaining that pressure for another 3 quarters, Shiloh.
Contested possession count, really good result for them, +5, and the uncontested possession works. So the work around the outside's gotten better. They've lifted already this week, of course. But it was the work of Baldors by Brisbane that cut them apart. She's had 8 disposals already, Ben. So maybe they've done the job on Anderson, but maybe they're going to have to do something about Dawes because she's cutting them apart at the moment.
Yeah, 3 clearances as well for Baldors to be involved. 2 of Brisbane's 3 scores. 5-point lead for the Lions. Here's Jess Webster.
Frederick and Hickey to renew acquaintances in the middle. Here's Davey feeding it out to Cairn. Root to ball as she copped a big bump. James underneath it. That's a strong contested grab. Quick to play onto Davey. She's in trouble. Just gets boot to ball. Lions pressure, of course, a turnover. Anderson kick smothered. Goes in again. Feeds it out to Grider. Kick up towards Davidson. Over her head. Slasher. Davidson's wrapped her up and brings her to ground. High tackle. Free kick to the Pies. It's a free kick to Brisbane, so I think it's maybe a high fend-off. It's going Davidson's way. She can send Brisbane forward. Just bombs it long. Conway will get out the back. If it gets off hands, it does. Step around the corner is all class from Sophie Conway.
Well, within the first minute of the second quarter, the Lions have got themselves their first goal. And it was interesting there, Eliza James took a terrific mark in the opening few seconds of that quarter. Some indecision, hand pass to Davey through the corridor when she had pressure. They lost the footy. Then they've lost the footy and the rebound. Just really poor decision making by the Pies, and the Lions have made them pay.
So 2 of the 3 Brisbane goals so far, Shiloh, have been just players being clean off crumbs at deep inside 50. Sophie Conway on that occasion, and Bell Dawes the forward 50 stoppage goal early. So the Lions showing, as Jess called, their class deep inside 50. Kathy Spark tracking it. She has Bree Davey for company. Those 2 have been going at it quite regularly, Davey and Kathy Spark at stoppages. Good battle right throughout the opening quarter and a bit. Dawes just hit that footy more than anyone else, but Benici stole it and was able to get the kick up towards half forward. Genuine 2-on-2 here, but Bolts is a big improver. Showed great composure there to feed Dunn. Grider, Dunn. Handball just below her knee, so allowed the Pies to pounce in Rowe and James to force a stoppage.
One thing I like about the Lions is when they do give the handball off, they don't give a little shallow one to someone under pressure like the Pies are doing. They play nice and wide, and they're just able to promote run and space that way. And even if the handball's a bit off target, they've got some space to work it out.
Kathy Spark might have been a little stiff not to get a free kick there. Always busy, Kathy Spark, both offensively and defensively. Frederick taps it out of bounds, and it's going to be an interesting ruck battle. We've already seen it between Sabrina Frederick and Talia Hickey. Frederick's had a terrific start to her season, averaging career-high disposals, but Talia Hickey's one of the most athletic rucks in the competition.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be that really strong body, really work the inside of the contest against someone who's got, you know, a great engine and can work around the field.
Show how Frederick disposed of that to Davey. It's holding the ball. Nearly came off. Talia Hickey to take the free kick. Frederick, of course, a Queensland product, a former Lion. Erica Fowler as well.
Well, Perth product, in fact. Sabrina Frederick.
Sorry, yeah, I stand corrected.
Of course, everyone thought she was going to stay in WA for that opening season, but got drafted up here to Brisbane.
Ellinger kick out wide. Read by Geordie Allen. Star Collingwood defender. Eye into the middle off hands. Conan out to Peters, the first gamer. Blair to Davey. Jams it on the boot. Towards half forward, Barnett and a one-on-one against Dunn. And another forward 50 stoppage.
Sabrina Frederick averaging 19 hit-outs per game, but also 6 clearances. So the versatility, you know, for what they might give up with having her deep forward or behind the footy, she's really making up with in the centre work at the source.
Another explosive run away from congestion there from Kathy Spark. Frederick down after that contest, to get to her feet as Allen has the ball held to her and is, in the end, caught holding the ball. Great start to the game for Conway. Disposal number 5 coming up for her. Free player at half forward, Ruby Spark. A couple of standout moments against the D's last week. Inside 50, hoping for Davidson. Kick had a touch too much juice on it. Allowed Cronin to spoil and work with Schleicher. And great rebound from Cronin out of defence towards the wing. Dunn got an accommodating bounce and will send it back the other way. Dropped by Peters, but had time to recover, then fumbled by Dunn. Back to Peters. The outnumber wins. Ellinger, Conway, she fumbles. Collingwood with an opportunity. Allen working in tandem with Can, and Schleicher thumps it into the middle of the ground. Huge ball here, and an excellent intercept mark from Grider.
And she's so solid, isn't she, across the half-back there? So much pressure for spots across that back line and the lines.
Towards half forward, a chance for Smith. Had a fumble. So turn tackler. Collingwood the opening goal of the game. Brisbane with the next 3 either side of quarter time. Hickey, big run up. Down a row. Kick only as far as Anderson, not the required distance. Has to kick in a hurry. Conway the target. Slasher out the back for the Pies. To Blair, had a fumble. Goes in again. Tackled by Ellinger and Ruby Spark. We'll have a ball up.
And there's the impact of pressure, Jess. Just the fumble there, just on the Collingwood defenders, just so much pressure. Brisbane Lions are so good at it. You hear footsteps all the time.
Smith and Barnett are rucked down at Dawes. Chance for her in the pocket. Snaps around the corner. And that's missing.
So again, Lions just looking ominous. Every time they go inside forward 50, looks like something's going to happen. They're going to get close to goal, going to score. Just their forward pressure's relentless.
Davey off the Livingston kick in. Give it back to Livingston. A couple of players from the inaugural season linking up. It's a terrific grab from Conan. She will put the Pies under the pump again. But Schleicher is up to the task. So good to have her back fit and firing. That kick, though, her best effort.
Did all the work there, Ben. Popped herself in front of a lead-up. Dakota Davidson.
Conway is all by herself, and the kick was executed superbly from Greider. Conway wheels onto that right, swings it back to perfection, all the way with Sophie Conway.
Wow, just again, pressure errors in the defensive 50 of Collingwood. Just such good work by the Lions just to put that perceived pressure on. Of course, they've turned the footy over the pies on the exit, off the kick-in. And then Conway knew that she had a bit of space to her right. No one crowded that space. It was an open paddock for it just to line up and just curve that ball around. Beautiful shot on goal. Conway's a fantastic player.
And not that she's a confidence player necessarily, Shiloh, but my goodness, once Sophie Conway gets her tail up, she's hard to stop.
If she was in another club, we'd be talking about her as an MVP of the competition. We'd be talking about her as the best midfielder in that team. This team is just that riches of mobile work rate players through the middle of the ground. You know, you've got Anderson, you've got Dawes, Allen who jumps back behind the footy, and Conway's work up and down the field. But they're bringing Hodder in through the middle as well, and amazing work rate from their mids.
Great clearance from Collingwood. Can to Benici, who takes off, has a bounce. Wobbles a kick inside forward 50 over the head of Sansonetti. Big tackle laid by Brie Conan. And holding the ball is the reward. And did everything right, Collingwood. And then they ran into the brick wall of Brie Conan on the last line of defence. Kicks out wide to the pocket and finds Campbell. We can chip it forward and find Hickey. Brisbane playing some possession footy in their back half.
We'll have to go to a contest on the wing. He keeps to a stack of players. Cronin intercepted. Slisher again involved, and she's caught holding the ball again.
The Lions have really picked up their pressure. That's why they've been able to win the footy there. Double 15 tackles to Collingwood's 7 this quarter.
Also went up to half forward. Hampson was there, but numbers with Collingwood. Allen to Benici. Every player in front of Britt Benici on the ground, so Collingwood will have to build from the back. Benici just hacks it into the middle. Good luck marking that. Sansonetti had a crack, falls to ground. Quick kick comes towards the wing. And the foot race is on. Ellinger coming from one side, Fowler from the other. Ellinger won it. Conan standing up in the tackle. Holding free kick is going to be coming back to the Lions. Again, Greider involved. This reliable Brisbane backline standing up in this second term to date.
Grace Campbell's a really ferocious tackler. She can get to the contest. Sometimes just can be a little bit sloppy around those free kicks, just not noticing when the player gets through the ball.
Greider long down the line. Courtney Hodder did all the work in the contest, couldn't complete the mark. Beautiful conditions here at Springfield. 21, 22 degrees. Beautiful sunny day in Brisbane. And great to see the fans here at Brighton Homes Arena on Friday night footy supporting the AFLW. About to enter midweek footy, Shy, for the next 4 weeks. So plenty happening if you're an AFLW fan. The ball in, spark, tackled and going nowhere.
So as of Tuesday, Jess, we have games every night and day of the week, except for Mondays, for the next 3 weeks.
Wouldn't want anything else, would you?
I think it's pretty, actually it's a lot of fun.
Benici sends it into the centre square. Mullins had a play at it. Porter picks it up. All pinballing around in there. O'Dwyer goes to ground. Porter again did really well to feed out the hand pass. Greider, tackle by Sansonetti. Ball continues to move forward. Campbell tackled heavily. Collingwood get a forward 50 stoppage.
And you've got a great example there of Grace Campbell's toughness at the contest, and she's been like that since she was a junior out at Bendigo. Just so ferocious.
Conway now doing the hard work defensively. Allen just got a kick away before Davidson arrived, and it fell into the lap of Rowe. Remos. Look at all those Lions jumpers clogging up the forward 50 of Collingwood. Bolt's drop, probably what she should have taken. It might allow Sansonetti with a look. At least Collingwood can now set up here from within striking distance. Hartle doing the ruck work here, meets it first. How'd she get rid of it? In the end, Porter, flying shot, and was well off target in the end.
Well, Ben, when you see the Pies go forward, they look up and there's just a sea of sort of a single level of player in terms of height. Frederick's off the field, and of course, injuries to Morris and Nell Morris-Dalton as well means that they're just struggling for a key forward up there, focal point. They start to get lots of contested ball down in the forward 50. It's hard to find an avenue to goal.
Barnett just sends it to a big pack inside forward 50. Campbell collects, tackled by Grider, gets the hand pass out to Ken. She's stripped to the footy by Hanson. Tackling pressure tonight from both sides has been a lead as Anderson sends it down the line, high to the target, goes out of play.
We talk about the tackling pressure, Jess. Brisbane 21 tackles this quarter alone, 13 from the Lions. Inside 50, 6-5 in favour of the Pies.
For all of Brisbane's attacking power, they pride themselves on their defensive game, Shy, and in particular that tackle count.
Absolutely, work both ends of the ground really well.
Quick kick out of the pack. Mullins after it, goes to ground. Davey over the top of her. Ball still alive. Conway taken over by Sansonetti. Bit of feeling creeping into this one.
Absolutely, you feel like every tackle could, just a bit niggly. That's not what we want to see in the AFLW.
Speaking of the Lions before the game, Poppy Bolt's certainly a player that is a real fire starter for Brisbane. She was involved in this play. Sophie Conway was taken to ground. Sansonetti involved as well.
Just making sure Conway knows that she's there.
Anderson somehow fed out a hand pass. Slisher starting to get more involved, and luck's a fortune for the Pies. Just dropped by Brazzali, but had time to recover. Handball, the kick though was smothered. Blair was trying to send it forward. O'Dwyer was there waiting to lay the defensive act. Up towards half forward they go, but every time Collingwood challenge, Brisbane have an answer down back. Conan the answer this time and finds Anderson.
Anderson off to Dunn. Bombs it down the line of a one-on-one over the head of Smith and Livingston, and it gets out the back. Can they get the running carry game on? Brisbane as Hartle gives it off to Hanson. Kick into the pocket. Just had a little bit too much on it for O'Dwyer and goes through for a behind. Let's get down boundary side to Hannah Davies.
Jess, I've been keeping an eye on Britt Benici because she's been down at the trainer's sideline for the second time this half. Last time she was working on that right ankle. She's looking okay though now, but I'll be keeping an eye on that.
The Pies can ill afford another injury. They're down to their training list already, round 3.
Just had no luck in the lead up to the season, and a couple of setbacks at the start of the first couple of rounds for Collingwood. Peters with the free. Gets some territory and some distance here over the head of Frederick. Livingston thumps it out. Hartle juggles it.
She's been good, Hartle, since she's come into this lineup.
Waste no time. Dawes unloads. Deep inside 50. Frederick in front and at the back. Taylor Smith says, thanks very much.
Well, the Lions just keep persevering, don't they? You can get some separation on them, and they will just work and work and work to close down that space, put pressure on the opposition disposal. There's no easy possessions tonight for the Pies, and the way in which the Lions will wear you down, and they'll be able to just keep peppering that forward 50, get the ball deep, and then out the back, Smith just in front of goal.
And another goal where Brisbane had the outnumber out the back and Collingwood weren't quite switched on defensively, Shiloh.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, again, just poor checking. And they are changing they've changed coaches in the off-season, of course. They're changing their systems. They've had 11 players turn over this year. So just they're still working out their system, of course. Brisbane have been so consistent each season.
Anderson to Ellinger. They work it forward again. O'Dwyer hands to it, couldn't reel it in. Davey goes in for the Pies. Postlethwaite to Dawes, to Kathy Spark. They go forward again, Brisbane. Can Spark finish on the run? It's another to Brisbane. They are relentless.
Well, textbook centre break, wasn't it? Just beautiful overlap running in numbers, just releasing the ball by hand, just being able to get forward of the reacting Pies opponents. And just to get the ball in the hands of Kathy Spark, she can put the afterburners on, create a little bit of separation, gives herself enough time to steady, straighten up, and doesn't have to kick the hell out of it, just caresses it through the goalposts. Beautiful passage of play from the Lions.
She's such a well-balanced player as well. You feel like she really has found that balance between her offensive and her defensive game as well. She goes back to Bree Davey now and is one-on-one. Does a great job there. It's Hickey and Frederick from the stoppage. But Ruby Spark, good luck catching Ruby. The bounce didn't quite come back to her. Davidson arrives, feeds it to Hickey. Oh, clever from Dawes. Absolutely Dawson. And Ali Anderson misses to the left. That would have been an early contender for team goal of the year.
Well, again, Brisbane just looking so ominous. And if we go back to round one and the loss that they had, their worst ever loss, everyone was writing them off, but the Lions just find a way. They just work and outwant the opposition. They keep learning. They keep growing. They love a challenge. They just get better out of it.
32 points the margin after Collingwood kicked the first goal of the game. It's been Brisbane all the way since then. The last 6 goals of the game, and they push forward again here through Dawes to a pack at the top of the square. Davidson in the pack, couldn't come down with it. A lot of numbers around this footy. Davidson soccers it off the deck. Frederick sees it over. As Anderson threw a boot at it.
Well, the Pies have had they've only had 12 less possessions this quarter, so that Brisbane just been so prolific.
Gets off hands. They link up again, Brisbane. Campbell to Bolt, so they tackle by Cam, back to Campbell. And then break it up. Have a ball in.
It's clever there, well read by Blair. She's working really hard across this half-back line.
Inside time for one more.
Sorry, Jess, inside 50s 11-7 in favour of the Lions this quarter.
In complete domination. In the stoppage, Blair scraps it forward. Peters, the debutant, swoops on it, gives it to Dunn, to Campbell. They look to work it out to the outer side. Here's O'Dwyer, who marks and can take off. Big left boot, sends it. It gets out the back again. Did anyone touch it? Rolls towards the line. It's offline anyway.
Oh, just the Lions, they can work in pairs really well against their opposition. And when they won that footy across the half-back there, they knew that 2 Pies were going to overcommit to 1 player. They just held their space, waited for both those Pies to commit, then released the handball into space, and they're off and running back forward.
28 seconds left in the quarter. It's a quarter dominated by the Lions. They've kicked 4 goals, 5-0. And they still have an opportunity. 17 seconds and counting as Bolts gets it on the boot. Davey just tries to get it into the forward half of Collingwood. They've got the outnumber here. Important tackle applied by Barnett. Probably saves the day.
It did really well there. She was outnumbered there, 1-2. Couldn't take possession, but knew exactly what was going to happen and then created a stoppage.
Final few seconds. Dawes has had an excellent quarter outside of the boot kick, just falling short of Davidson. But that is the end of the second quarter. A second quarter dominated by the Brisbane Lions. 4 goals, 5 they kicked. They kept Collingwood scoreless in that term. The Pies, in fact, kicked the first 3 scoring shots of the game. The Lions have had the last 12. They have been dominant since halfway through that first quarter, and they hold a 34-point advantage at the major break. Sophie Conway has been one of the stars so far. She's kicked 2, and she's with Hannah Davis.
Sophie, you've just kept Collingwood scoreless. It must feel pretty good to be putting out this kind of performance in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, 100%. I guess last time we were here probably wasn't our best performance, so just to get back out here and put on a Lions brand of footy, I think, yeah, it's been really positive, but tell you what, there's a long way to go.
And a great start from yourself as well, the 2 goals just in this half. How's it feel out there with the wind?
Yeah, a little bit of breeze. I mean, I feel like, yeah, we definitely took advantage of it, which was nice. But yeah, like, you know, they'll have it now for a quarter and we'll have it again. So I think if we can, yeah, continue to play our game for the next half, I think, yeah, we'll go a long way to getting the job done.
Good luck for the second half.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Big night so far for Sophie Conway. She has 2 of Brisbane's 6 goals. The Lions by 34 points. Don't go anywhere. Half-time analysis coming up on the other side of this.
What are those tap dancing shoes? I've just had to take the microphone out, so that's why the sound might be a little bit different. I just need to put a little bit of charge into the phone because we've got the big game coming up in a little over, I think the next game is 7:40 tonight is the Port Adelaide Hawthorn game. I don't know about a jig though. So I've just plugged the charger in. I'll put the mic back in as soon as this quarter starts again. I don't want to run out of power, and I want the good sound for the game tonight. So that's why I've just had to pull the microphone out, the wireless mic. That's how the sound sounds pretty good. But there we go. Hang on a minute. Let's read a little bit of this. Hey, John, welcome in. Almost famous. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well there. Cookies with icing will work, though. Tell you what, it's making me hungry, all that food talk. Yet the cordial, definitely no yellow snow. I make sure, the snow, when we did that with the snow, I made the snow cone, we actually got some snow, from the ground where absolutely no one had been, and just take a little bit of the layer off the top and then grab it. It was actually all right. I don't know about the boil the maple syrup and then they pour it onto the cold snow. Maple suckers. Is that right? It's almost 8 p.m. now. Oh, yeah, 8 p.m. for you. So 6, 8. Yeah, so that game tonight will be about 9:40 9:40 start for you tonight, halves over there, since you're 2 hours ahead. Unless it's already started and you can tell us the results. I don't know. But yeah, it's 7:40, so an hour and 40 it starts. That game. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the lead and disposal getters on the ground. Of course, Isabel Dore there for Brisbane. Tell you what, the reigning premiers Brisbane, after their thumping in the first round, they've come off a good win and shaping as though they're going to have another good win here today. Although it's only half time, still a big margin. 6-6-42 Brisbane leading the Magpies 1-8. Of course, Collingwood kicked the opening goal of the game. Brisbane have kicked the last 6 goals, so they're looking pretty strong. Ali Anderson next best with 13. 6 kicks, 7 handballs, 1 mark, 2 tackles, doing well. Brown and Davey there best for the Pies with 10. 4 kicks, 6 handballs, 1 mark, 7 tackles, so she's doing a good job there. Brittany Bonici, 9 there for the Pies. Come on, we know I can't tell the future. Look at who I'm supporting. Yeah, that's true, that's true. But don't forget, halves, don't forget, Collingwood men's team are still the reigning premiers. They're still the reigning premiers, so go Pies. Never give up on the. You know what? I think the Pies will be in for a big year next year. Kathy Svark, 6 there. Let's just keep going down. The stats for all the folks who like to keep an eye on their favourite players in AFLW, see how their stats are going. One of the big losses, I think, for Collingwood, their halves, is John Noble. I think he's been traded out. I think he requested to move somewhere, whether it's, I can't remember whether it was Perth or somewhere he was going, somewhere over there. But he'll be a big loss, because he I tell you what, he was a great player who gave his all every game, and he had exceptional run off our back line, break the lines and that. So he'll be sadly missed. But you know, next year we should have a full list of players healthy again, because we had just so many injuries this season. It was just unfortunate we lost 1 game, or else we would have been in the finals against Brisbane in that first week. You know what? Could have been interesting. It absolutely could have been Brisbane playing the Giants tomorrow night if that had happened. Taylor Smith, Sophie Conway leading goal scorers, the only multiple goal scorers on the ground for the Lions, both with 2 goals. Kathy Svark, Isabel Dawes, the other single goal scorers for the Brisbane Lions. And of course, Alana Porter, the only goal scorer there for the Magpies. Let's have a look at the team stats. So as you can see, there's no real domination of disposals. Who's really been in control? The ball's up and back a little bit, as just the Lions, their class is showing when they've got the ball. They're using it a lot better. And scoring heavily in that second quarter. 117-104. 13 up on disposals are the Lions. Kicks, pretty much similar. Handballs, well, the Lions using the handball a fair bit more in that second quarter, which got their game flowing well. Inside 50s, though, dominating is Brisbane. 23 inside 50s for 12 scoring shots. That is fantastic. Of course, the Maggies, 12 inside their forward 50 for just a 3. Of course, no score in that second quarter. The disposal efficiency, both teams lifted a little bit there. 60% up now to the Lions. And of course, the efficiency inside 50, not too bad there for the Lions at 52-2. Collingwood, 16% needs to lift. Have a look at those free kicks. So the umpires love the Brisbane Lions, the home team. 12-5 up until half time. I don't know whether the Pies are just trying too hard in their tackles, or just not doing it the correct way. Here we go, 12-5. Hit outs, everything pretty even on the stoppages. 20-22. Pies by 2. The clearances, the Lions by 1, the same as the centre clearances. 4-3 Lions by 1. Contested possession, uncontested, turnovers, all pretty similar. Time in possession for the match, though, it's the Lions 34% to the Maggies 29. There we go. Both teams marking the ball. Nice and clean. Good to see them taking the grabs there, 13-11. Marks inside 50 is just the Lions only one. Magpies yet to put that on the board, but they do need that. Contested marks, 4-2. Lions by a couple there. Just having a look at the tackles now, and of course, 51-49. The Pies were in front there. They dropped off a bit in their tackle count. The Lions certainly lifted their game in that second quarter, but both teams going above their season average, which is wonderful. And of course, tackles inside 59 apiece. Both teams doing their job really, really well there. When it comes to defending, but as I said, Brisbane Lions they're just a little bit too skillful so far. Of course, the Magpies failed to score in that second quarter. Still 1-2. Of course, the Lions, I'll tell you what, have a look at that score. 4-5. That's fantastic in any game of AFLW. That is fantastic. 4-5, 9 scoring shots for that second quarter. So a great job from them. Won't be too far away before we are back to the bounce of the ball for the third quarter here at Brighton Homes Arena in Ipswich. But at halftime, it's the Lions 66-42, leading the Maggies 128. It's the Lions by 34. We'll be back. Not too far away.
Footy to come here as the sun has set at Brighton Homes Arena. What can Collingwood do here in the second half? Brisbane work it out of the middle. Dawes, lovely hand pass to Hickey. Davidson the target, just couldn't quite get there in time. A bouncing footy, Mullins underneath it. Ruby Spark is lurking, collects, and dispossessed by Campbell. No free kick. High scramble it out of defence. Row overran it. Dawes close to the boundary line. Looping handball over the top to O'Dwyer. Two Gaelic footy stars go at it. There's no winner out of that.
There's a good example of the perceived pressure. Brighton Lions were just hunting. Rowe knew they were on her foot, on her heels, and she just didn't take possession cleanly.
Rowe tracking it, immediately wrapped up by Mullins. Collingwood still yet to score since the opening quarter. She had no room to move. Dawes somehow made room. Got it to Ruby Spark. Kick was smothered as well. Every time Dawes touches the ball, something good happens. Likewise with Hodder to Mullins, unselfishly to Smith. Wants her left side, gets her left side, and gets her third goal.
Wow, just that pressure and hunting the ball back as it was exiting the forward 50 for the Lions. They're able to win the footy back, and then just through a succession of play, they're always able to find a loose player. They have great connection. They know where each other are. And how's the agility of their 180-centimetre Taylor Smith, just the ability. She was on her right foot, had all the time in the world to swing around and pop it on the left, and wonderful goal by the Lions.
The Lions open their second half with a goal to Taylor Smith, is now equalled her career. There's 3 goals in a game, 1 in each quarter so far, and the pain continues for the Pies as Brisbane blow it out to a 40-point margin. From the restart, Kathy Spark chasing after it, trying to slip the Campbell tackle. It's the handball out in time to Mullins. Broken up by the Pies defence. Mullins goes in again. Blair right there with her. Anderson pushing the back. Record 43 disposals from Ali Anderson last week, who was also the AFLW's games record holder. Sends it into the pocket. Smith rose high. Couldn't pull it in. Lions by 5 at quarter time, by 34 at half time. After they suffered their worst ever AFLW loss in round 1 by 44 points in the grand final rematch. Beat Melbourne by 18 last week, and having a day out here at home. Conway though, handball is a turnover. Great pressure from Ellinger. Win the footy back, he gives it to O'Dwyer. Kathy Spark off to her sister Ruby. They're all linking up. Conway for goal number 3 is missed. She had a bit more time than that, Conway. Time to steady up, to square the ball.
What have the Pies got? Under siege here. A difference in class has opened up as this game has progressed. Davey can get the Pies moving. Needs to sit up here. Does in the end. Well played by Rowe. Waited the kick. Hoping for Ivy. Grider arrives. Ivy did well not to get into the back. The Bolts was there and find her captain.
That's a really good example of work rate. So the Pies did a really good job there to get the ball into the hands of Sarah. She kicks it down to a one-on-one, but the first 2 players to arrive are Lions. No Pies coming up at her feet.
So if you Sam Rice, if right now, reigning premiers away from home, 41-point differential, what are some short-term goals, I suppose, at the moment? We're just going to see a free kick going the way here of Dawes for a high contact. But what are some of the short-term goals that Collingwood can put in place here, Shia, to try and get themselves back with the contest?
Well, I think it's about getting your system right, and they've got a new system in place, obviously under a new coach. There's been players that have been turned over. Players have come out. Of course, Sophie Casey no longer in the back line. They've got injuries to Lauren Butler. She won't be back for another few weeks yet across the back line. So I guess if you're Sam Wright, you're trying to get the players to just keep doing more of the system he wants them to play. And that won't happen straight away, so you just want to try and get time where it gets applied and then try and work out why it doesn't get applied in those other moments.
Frederick held without the ball. The Pies will try to take the advantage. Trying to thread the needle there was Rowe. Ellinger played on straight away, almost as if she's going to be brought back.
Wow.
That was definitely a mark, and it looked like she played on.
It looked like maybe she didn't think it had travelled the required distance, so the umpire's given her the benefit of the doubt there. Very lucky.
So Ellinger marks on the logo. Pies have had time to get themselves back. Davidson will fly, but in front, Anderson almost uncontested in the end. Feeds it out towards O'Dwyer and Kathy Spark. Clever from O'Dwyer to Ruby Spark. Bounce important here for Ellinger. She has Conway over the top. It gets to Conway now. Can she be clean? She can't in the end. Excellent tackle in the end, but it was an illegal tackle rather from Ramos. So Conway, who has been in everything throughout this first half, is within striking distance.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough tackle. It was a really quick one. You'll see here on the replay now.
Just lingered a little too long. Coming back to Collingwood. Must have been a reversal after it was paid, so they can get a reprieve here for a can.
Hands it off to Rowe. Hangs it down the line. Conan in best position. Fowler chasing after her. Conan collects. Towards O'Dwyer. Had a fumble. Close to the line. Gets on the left. Frederick standing in the way. Has a fumble. Kathy Spark collects. Gives it to Mullins. Hooks it around the corner. Atkinson did well, but then was caught. Umpire says, I'll have it. That was a great chase down tackle from Smith.
And of course, Atkinson, just her second game in the competition, had made a debut in the first round, got concussed, missed out last week, so she's still learning the pace of the play.
Hickey to Ellinger, back to Hickey, now off to Postlethwaite, spears it to half forward, Mullins presents. Goes after it again, slips the road tackle, has to get around Allen, just gets boot to ball, picked up by Postlethwaite, sells some candy against Frederick, then bangs it to full forward, Smith in a one-on-one. Pies under pressure, Slasher collects. Spark again going in hard and holding the ball. She's been rewarded. Great tackle against the second gamer, Amber Shuddy.
Collingwood should have exited their back half just then. They had the football, they had the outnumber, and they gave it up because they didn't make their tackle stick. And that's a real issue. You watch Brisbane tackle, they make their tackles stick. Collingwood just letting too many unbroken tackles through.
Already has one, Kathy Spark. Tight angle in the pocket. It's hooked it across the face. Whistle on play, free kick to Brisbane. Going to Dakota Davidson.
And that's just a pressure free kick in the congestion. Players from Collingwood just desperately trying to get at the contest to try and stop it going through, and then just poor discipline with their bodies. Pushed over Davidson, pushed out of the contest, so free kick absolutely there. They don't have to give her much space either in front of goal.
4 goals so far in season 2024 for Dakota Davidson. Oh, he's missed to the right.
Well, last week, Ben, she was threading them from almost the Cranbourne train station down to Casey Fields, and then today in front of goal, missed an easy one like that.
A couple of behinds for Dakota Davidson. Ball comes to the back. Dawes arrived very quickly. Lean handball off to Conan. Sends it forward. Getting some content to thump it away there from Hartle. So 9 minutes left in this third quarter. Brisbane holding that 42-point advantage. Collingwood the first 3 scoring shots of the contest, and it has been all Craig Starcevic's side since. Potter feeds it to Conway. Just keeps it inside the chalk to Ellinger. Can she keep it in play? She can. From the pocket, Jade Ellinger to the top of the goal square. Davidson was waiting. At ground level, Postlethwaite. Davidson still within striking distance. Clever to Postlethwaite. A couple of steps. Centres the kick. Excellent team play. And Jade Ellinger deserves a shot at goal after her brilliant play close to the line just moments ago.
Well, really balanced play there by the Lions. Really set themselves up well. Once the ball went inside 50, just zoned off nicely. So the Lions had options around, and they're just so well drilled.
Graduate of the Brisbane Academy, premiership player, yet to kick a goal this season. And just in the end, Livingston able to get a fingertip before it went through. A minor score as Slasher brings it away for the Pies.
And 50-metre penalty against Dakota Davidson, so Slasher will be marched up the ground. Wanted to move it on quickly because has Bree Davey in space on the wing. Ball's off to Rowe, close to the line. Conway in pursuit. Ball's back on board to Grace Campbell. Pressure with the kick slightly. Done. Collects it half back for Brisbane to Campbell, and that kick is out of bounds on the full. So Collingwood can reload on the broadcast wing. They still haven't kicked a goal since the opening minute of the match here at Brighton Homes Arena. Such a hot start to the Pies. They kicked the first 3 scores of the game. Brisbane have responded in emphatic fashion. They led by 5 at quarter time and to 34 by half time. And Game high 43 points. Kick up towards forward 50 for the Pies. Postlethwaite swoops on it to Hickey. Back to Postlethwaite. Ball's out of play.
Brisbane have had 22 more possessions this quarter alone. 40 to 23 now, 46 to 23. 8 to 1 in the inside 50 count and 5 to 2 in the clearance count. 22 to 7 in the contested possession count.
Asserting their authority, the Lions. That boundary throw-in will be recalled. Terrific night for footy in Springfield. Brighton Homes Arena looking a treat, and the home fans are being treated to a devastating display by the Lions. Anderson off the ball, so it allows James to pick it up cleanly. Into the hot spot. Postlethwaite was tracking the footy, just dropped it at the wrong time. Shannon Campbell forces the stoppage. Collingwood edging closer. At least have finally had some territory in this third quarter. Benici giving Anderson no room to move.
Really shallow forward 50 entry just inside the 50 line.
Ellinger and Conway ensuring James has no room. So a 43-point lead, 5.5 to play in this third term. Benici pounces. Rowe, dinky kick inside 50, just past Davey. Peters, good composure, and then a big tackle from Sansonetti. Guides her opponent over the boundary line, so Collingwood still with a chance.
Clever little kick there by Sarah Rowe out of the contest, just into some space. There was a +1 there. Get the ball in their hands, get the ball a little bit further now. They have got a stoppage sort of within 25 metres.
5 minutes to go in the third. Barnett and Hickey and Ruck. Barnett palms it down. Campbell, a chance for her, close to the line. And we'll have another ball in as we head downstairs to Hannah Davies.
Thanks, Jess. Just been keeping an eye on the club debutante tonight in Jordan Ivey. She's just been on the interchange bench for nearly 10 minutes now. She was getting worked on with the physios, and we'll be heading out there soon.
Thanks, Hannah. Ball back in a plate. Hickey. Davies swoops. Tried to find a left. And lays an important tackle. The umpire's circling, holding the ball against Dawes. And Bree Davey to line up for a shot at goal from a very tight angle. Just grabbed the jumper, reeled her in.
It was a great tackle there. Good second effort there by Davey. She got to the fall of the footy. Couldn't quite make contact with that boot on the left, and then followed up with a great tackle. Now they've got a shot on front of goal.
It's a test, Bree Davey.
Goes out of bounds on the full in the end, just didn't quite get the bend.
Just round one, Bree Davey came back last week and had the 14 touches, 6 tackles against Hawthorn. Brisbane can build from the last line. All here with Talia Hickey. Hodder in front. Lost her footing, but she was held as she came to ground as well, so she received the free kick. Goes into the middle. Kick has to be good. Dawes provided the contest and brought it to ground. And Ellen just swoops on it and puts the Lions into space. O'Dwyer will want to get onto her left side. Does that now. Hooks it deep inside 50. Smith in position A. Beautiful ball movement from Brisbane.
Geez, their connection's lovely, isn't it? They know where each other are. I really love how they open the field up with those nice long 45-degree kicks. They put the kick into the space. They back their teammates to run onto the ball because they are disciplined in playing in front. Just lovely connection.
It was Dakota Davidson who did the damage last week with 3 goals. Tonight it's Taylor Smith stepping up on the Friday night stage. She can't finish her first blemish of the night. 3 goals, 1 for Taylor Smith.
Allen brings the ball back in for the Pies. Remember, should he? As they look to exit the danger zone. Contest on the wing, done. Picked up beautifully by Sansonetti. Off to Brazzali, scrubs it down the line. Davey. A high kick to half forward. Can they get out the back the Pies? They have an open forward 50 to work with. James involved. Couldn't take it cleanly. Conan taps it out wide. Big tackle from Benici. Forces a ball up. And the stars for the Pies, Britt Benici. Started a 2024 campaign very well indeed, but there's a free kick here going to Hartle.
Former Eagle, played 16 games in the West before making a move to Queensland. Holding free kick going Brisbane's way.
Successive free kicks there. They're coach killers, aren't they? Just hand the football back to the opposition after all that work.
In favour on the free kick count, the Lions. There's an intercept grab from Stacey Livingston playing game number 69. A true star she's been for Collingwood since their first season. So too is his player, Shannon Campbell. O'Dwyer. Less than a minute left in this third term. Brisbane strike one more time before the three-quarter time siren. Smith attacked it. Mullins was there at ground level, trying to keep the ball in play. And Atkinson was able to see her over the line.
Brisbane by 44 points. Collingwood have done well just to stem the flow a little bit, Shiloh, in this third quarter. Just the one goal to Brisbane. O'Dwyer jams it on the boot. A wobbly kick inside forward 50. Livingston takes off after it. Smith. And how will the umpire see that? Insufficient intent. Free kick close to three-quarter time here for Taylor Smith.
She tried to disguise it. Knew she had the outnumber, and so was hoping the cavalry would arrive and she could stall in, use up enough time, ran out of space.
The Lions fans seem to play their part too.
Absolutely they did. You'd be asking that question every day of the week.
Taylor Smith runs in on the angle. He's hooked it. So 1-5 for Brisbane in this third quarter. The lead could have been a lot greater at this point of the game. Ken knocked away from her by Ellinger. He's been lively tonight. Tackled by Benici.
And I guess if you ask the question of the Lions, given their dominance in this quarter, they're plus 26 on the disposal count. Have they really? And they're 10 to 2 inside 50s. They've kicked 1-5. And if you want to be a contender in that top 4 space, you've got to be able to finish in front of goal and hurt opposition teams every time you go in there. So maybe that's a blemish in this third quarter.
Three-quarter time here at Brighton Homes Arena. It is all Brisbane. They lead by 44 points, and there is still a massive night of footy ahead. The AFL semi-final in Adelaide. Port Adelaide takes on Hawthorn. Can the fairy tale continue for the Hawks, or will Port Adelaide avoid a straight sets exit? Coming up from 6:50 tonight.
All right, three-quarter time here, folks. Three-quarter time. Just need to plug the phone back in to charge. Insufficient intent. Doesn't have the same impact as holding the ball. Exactly right. You know what? I don't think that was insufficient intent. I think it actually... I think her hand actually got knocked by the opposition's leg and the ball just went over. But that's right. Felt safe since the first quarter. Oh, you're not wrong, huh? I tell you what. The first 10 minutes, first 5-10 minutes of the game, though, it was pretty good. The Pies came out strong. They looked good, but Ibra, they haven't scored since quarter time. The Lions, inaccuracy. 1-5 in that third term. There we go. That's why they're the reigning premiers. They definitely got a little bit of class. Of course, I suppose when you're playing against a moderate team is in the Pies. It just looks so much easier there for Brisbane Lions. But you're right, they're a pressure team. I tell you what, they're a team that have got good skill, Brisbane. And I did say about composure with the ball. Brisbane do seem to have a little bit of composure. When they've got the ball, They actually look for their targets instead of just grabbing the ball, kicking it anywhere. That type of thing, as we see in the men's. The men's have got, like Pendles and that. Players like that, they get the ball and it's like everything goes in slow motion. They got all the time, sum it up and put it where they want. But that's all right. The girls are getting better. It's taking a little bit of time. But yeah, 7-11-53, 45-point leaders, the Brisbane Lions over the Pies, 1-2-8. Don't forget, in a little over 1 hour's time, the big match coming up. Port Adelaide taking on the Mighty Hawks, where I think it's going to be a game where Hawthorn will just have a training drill over Port Adelaide and have a comfortable win over there. Then I think they might head over and play Sydney. I think that's how it works. I think they play Sydney. I have to have a look at the charts later to see who plays who. You reckon Port? Paul's tipping Port, so that means Hawthorn will probably win. Go and get on. I'm just having a bit of a look. Have a little bit of a look. Have a little bit of a look at there, Paul. I'm not sure, actually. FL. All right. So in that game, actually, Hawthorn are going in favourite, although it's Port Adelaide's home game. The Hawks 158 to win that. Port Adelaide 233. I think that's fantastic value. Fantastic value for the Hawks at 158. I think you just jump on there, sell your house, get on now. You're going to make easy money. That's better than bank interest, although bank interest isn't that much these days. I think you're going to make some easy cash if you get on Hawthorn tonight. The way they've been going, and of course the way Port Adelaide have been going, and especially if you just have a look. I was just having a little bit of a look at the lineups, and of course Dixon is still playing for Port Adelaide, so that is, well, let's just see how that goes. But I'm tipping that that's like a wasted position, wasted play there, because Dixon last week did not even worry about second or third efforts. You don't like Hawthorn? I tell you what though, it'll be an interesting game. It'll be interesting to see how Port actually responds to their thumping last week from Geelong. They don't want to go out in straight sets again. Of course, Hinkley doesn't want that to happen. The players don't want that to happen. And Port Adelaide fans don't want that to happen. Of course, they could end Hawthorn's dream by showing why they're such a good team and why they ended up second on the ladder this year. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a fascinating game, and I hope Port come out with a good game. I hope they give it their all, and I hope they don't get spanked like they did last week. As you know, a close game is a good game. That's what we want to see tonight in just over an hour's time. Over at the, I think it's over at the Adelaide Oval, is it? Over at the Adelaide Oval. 1 hour, 7 minutes, that game is going to start. And we should be covering that game in about 45, 50 minutes time. We'll listen to the commentators before the game, see what's happening there. Anyway, we're going to get back down to the ground. Let me just put the mic in so you get a bit better sound. There it is. All right, let's get back down to the bounce, the final quarter. It's the Lions by 45.
Lions huddle. They're going back to a similar structure to the second quarter with Charlie Mullins back onto the wing, and Craig said that they won't be seeing the save the game sign, so I'll leave that up to you guys to determine if that's the jerry can or not, but he wants to drive this home, no foot off the brake, the pedal.
No, these ominous signs as well for the Collingwood Footy Club, who haven't scored since the first quarter.
I was going to ask, Lions have a break, because the way in which they're playing is just fantastic.
Given they suffered a 44-point loss in round one, percentage is going to be important in this tight competition. So Lions are not wanting to slow down here in the final quarter. Whistle on play, free kick for high contact, going the way of Brisbane. O'Dwyer to take the free kick.
I think a loss in round one, the way they did, Jess, probably exactly what the Lions love, those kind of backs against the moment, back against the wall moments.
They just relish being the underdog.
I love it when people write them off. So we'll go another gear now.
Frederick to Rowe. This gets Bridge ball only as far as Dawes. He's been in everything tonight. But Dwyer close to the line, can't keep it alive. Just see there, the offensive transition there by Dwyer. She had no one around her. She was first to the footy, coming off the wing here. Just a direct opponent not following her in that transition of play.
Conversely, when Sarah Rowe had the footy as well, she had no time or space. Brisbane's defensive accountability has been superb. Just like that Kathy Spark take there. Just got a handball away. It's brought down afterwards, and Spark is going at it afterwards with their opponent in Grace Campbell, who is certainly trying to lift her team defensively. She's had 16 tackles tonight, Grace Campbell, the number 13 for Collingwood. Tries win the footy back here. Behind on that occasion was Porter, the only goal kicker for Collingwood in this match. Dunn kicks it high. Benici bravely stands underneath it. Davey sends it forward. Brisbane so well set up behind the ball. And tries to get some territory. And did well, but Dunn strong over the footy, got back to her feet cleanly and quickly, and they're away. Dawes, Anderson, Dawes pushing the back. Coming to the lines. Anderson can set up Brisbane here through the corridor.
Kicks into the middle of the ground. Hickey with some work to do against Frederick. Campbell has the fend off against Hampson. Gets the handball out to Davey. Slips the tackle. Now Rowe has some room to move on the wing. Lovely kick down the line for Sansonetti. They've got an open forward 50 to work with here. Collingwood, if they can get it out the back. But it's a 50-metre penalty.
It's a free kick down.
This will help.
For being held. So Barnett was held off the footy, which was trying to lead into the forward 50.
Sansonetti looking for a target. Kicks it to the top of the square to a one-on-one. As the mark has been paid to Bobby. No, it's a court play on. They work it out on the last line of defence. Brisbane. Hickey exits to the outer side. Atkinson against Conway. Atkinson there first. Ruby Spark comes in. Conway diving after it. Spits out the back to Benici. He sends Collingwood back inside forward 50 to a contest. The big fist came from Griner. Only as far as Sansonetti. The kick towards the goal square. Dunn under pressure. Got to get rid of it. Barnett with the tackle. Bolts overran the footy. Ball still alive here for Collingwood. James Dunn breaks it up and goes out of play.
Oh, good signs here from Collingwood there. Just the fact they lost the football once they went deep inside 50. Went tracked it back to the wing and were able to bring it back inside 50 again. So, good positive.
And they do close to goal. Davey trying to run onto it. Kathy Spark, as she has been all night, right on her tail. Ellinger tried the pressure. There's Campbell, who for a rare time tonight, Charlotte has wrapped up herself because she's been doing all the tackling. 16 tackles. The record is Kiara Bowers, 22, so she's 6 away from that. Keep our eyes on that number as this last quarter progresses.
Talk about little one-on-one wins, Shiloh. Lucy Cronin playing on Dakota Davison tonight, who's yet to kick a goal. And Cronin was a bit of a draft bolter last year and first season, and has been given the task tonight.
Yeah, done a really good job, and you want to play on the best players, learn from them, learn their craft and what they do.
Dwyer courageously going back there. Rowe coming the other way. Pounced on here by James. Into the corridor. 2-on-1 here in favour of Collingwood. Benici at the fall of the ball. All class. Brilliantly done. Britt Benici finally breaks the scoring drought for Collingwood.
Well, really good perseverance here by the Pies. Obviously, some conversations maybe at three-quarter time around finishing the game well. Just like the fact they've gone inside forward 53 times, rebounded a couple. They've worked hard to bring it back in. They got some scoreboard reward for that effort. Interestingly, +5 on the contested possession count. So contested footy will win you the ball. You can kick goals if you've got it.
An All-Australian and Best of Ferris winner, Britt Benici. That was just the 5th goal in her AFLW career, playing game number 60 tonight, a 27-year-old, and breaks a run of 7 in a row to Brisbane after the Pies get the opener of the game tonight. Some reward for effort for the Pies here in the last. Benici again in the middle, back to Frederick. has some space, winds up and kicks it long to half forward, playing in front is Jen Dunn. Have a ball up at the top of Collingwood's 50. The positive sign here for the Pies to win that centre clearance. Anderson to Mullins. Kicks to the wing, one-on-one. Well done in the contest from Atkinson. It's a lovely mark to Sansonetti at half forward, who was originally omitted from the side tonight, but came in late for Ellery Morris. And turned it over inside 50, and Brighter takes the wonderful mark.
Safe hands of the Brisbane defender, Hampson. An important player in that premiership last year. Hampson to Ellinger. Helps to set Brisbane up from the defensive half over the head of Hodder. That's an excellent take there from Slisher. Waste no time. James was the target at the back. She arrives now. Order was also there trying to apply some. James's tackle slipped high. Set Brisbane up again. It's a 39-point lead here for the Lions. Hampson calls for movement up ahead. Anderson thumped away from her. And Hampson goes back against her own footy and runs straight into the wall of Davey. Forces the stoppage with 10.5 to go, and she's caught. And Davey wastes no time and kicks it deep inside 50, just over the head there of Ramos. Lovely sidestep there from Brazzali. Ramos goes again. Outside of the right boot was clever. Guess who's standing in the hole? Matt Grider with another pick.
Yeah, great composure there. Head front spot. Knew the kick was going to come in hurry.
Kicks to Bolts. Grider kept running. Long down the line to a contest. Davidson came from behind. I think it was a Falcon in the end. Down to Dawes as a Collingwood player down behind players. Dawes slips a tackle, has a bounce. Hand passes to Ellinger. Dawes was dealt with. A free kick and the advantage is paid because the Lions are away. Anderson with some room on the outer wing. Kicks up towards half forward. Conway marks. Couple of kicks from goal. Wheels around on the right. Pumps it long in the Courtney Hodder direction. Gets it out the back over her head. Hardle is there. Soccer's off the deck. It's through from behind.
It was a bit casual, wasn't it, there by the Collingwood defenders?
Hardle's a bit slow to her feet.
Yeah, saw Bell Dawes also just have screen limp off the ground as well. Got the heavy hit after she disposed of the ball. And they'll be all over that downstairs. In the meantime, Collingwood moving along the wing. It's worked out well here. Porter sends it to absolutely no one. Totals foot race into space. Composure shown there by Dunn and Bolts, the two newcomers in this Brisbane defence in the past couple of seasons. They look so assured, as if they've been playing there since season 1. Conway takes some territory and kicks it inside 50. Davidson the target, Hodder at ground level, so clean. That was an awesome hand pass, and Davidson does the team thing, and Orla O'Dwyer with a sweet goal in the final turn.
Really fantastic work there by the Brisbane Lions. A lovely team goal. It was a beautiful passage of play. Hodder wasn't able to take the mark, but she got the clean ball, and it was just a little give. Her and Davidson working to each other, and Davidson having the mindset to just pop the ball just in front, not try and overkick it. Knew she had a couple of players loose in front of her. See the little give here, chip over, it's a goal.
Medibank, mind-blowing moment, and again the Brisbane Lions showing their ability on transition to not only get the deep entry but a shot at goal within striking distance.
And if you're the opposition, who do you decide you've got to put the work into? Just the way their forward line spreads the load, spreads the work, just fantastic.
Hardle out of the middle for the Lions to Conway. Grace Campbell wraps her up, who's been a tackling machine tonight for Collingwood. What is she up to now? 17. The record is 22 tackles in a game. Conway wanted a free kick. Chance for Postlethwaite. Slasher. Strips her at the footy. Goes in again. Just Ruby Slasher. Hotter over the top of her. Be a free kick to Brisbane for holding the ball. Ruby Spark sends it to a dangerous position. And Barnett gets back and fills the hole for the Pies.
Massive tackle from Courtney Hodder on Slasher beforehand. It is ominous in the end. Well played by Cronin, who looks so assured.
Really composed then. That's a really positive sign for the Pies.
9 in last year's draft. A couple of early top 10 picks. The Magpies last year. It was Georgia Clark. She was pick 8 on its first pick in the 2023 draft. She was named as an emergency tonight. 7 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Brisbane looking for another big win at home. Benici and Anderson head-to-head. This time these two sides met. Collingwood win. Benici had the 3 AFLW best and fairest votes. Tonight, though, it's been all Brisbane at the coalface. Can receives the free kick. Goes along the wing. Lots of lines, jumpers around this, but in front, Barnett's showed some good signs across half forward tonight. In ball. Gan kept on running. Links up with Rowe via hand. Towards a one-on-one over the head of O'Dwyer. Clever from Blair. Then tries to run onto it and follows up with a great tackle. O'Dwyer good enough to get a hand pass away. Brilliant pick-up from Slasher. Goes deep inside 50. Ivy was there and thumped away from her by Dunn. Ivy good enough to get back to her feet. Porter lurking dangerously. Campbell deserves a goal. She's worked so hard tonight. Goes high, but Hardle is there to save the day deep in defence.
Well, good courage there. She knew the contact was coming. Hospital ball there, waiting for it. It's never fun just sitting there waiting for that ball to come and the contact.
Hardle in the Davison direction to spoil in the end. Barnett, lovely gather off to Rowe. Off hands, Conway. To Postlethwaite. Not a lot up ahead, just has to kick it into the middle. Smith to run onto it. Gives it to Ellinger. And now they're out here. Off to Conway. Has a paddock for her at half forward. Has a bounce. On the run from 40. Take a bow, Sophie Conway. She's got 3.
She had to kick that, Charlotte. There are a couple of free Brisbane players over the top, but she was good enough to kick it.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we've been singing the praises of Belle Dawes tonight. Ellie Anderson, of course, she's had the 20 disposals. Conway's had 16 disposals, but it's what she's done with the ball. She's had 7 inside 50s. She's had 7 score involvements. She's kicked 3 goals, 1, 2 clearances. She's taken 3 marks as well. Fantastic individual performance by Conway.
It's a 52-point lead for Brisbane at the moment. Collingwood's biggest ever AFLW loss is 52 points against Richmond late last season. That's the equal margin at the moment. They've been touched up by a relentless, ferocious line side tonight. Allen thumped it away. Kathy Spark, pulled over there by Frederick. Less than 5 to play. Frederick decisively down, but Hodder having a run on the ball. Kicks inside 50. Oh, Postlethwaite, what class. Spark trying to run onto it. Ruby Spark as clean as you like, as quick as a flash, as good as it gets from the Brisbane Lions.
How's the agility of Ruby Spark? Just amazing. And the work of Hodder behind the contest. No one guarding. There were 2 Brisbane Lions players behind the stoppage there. And then to be able to get the ball forward. And Ruby Spark, and I mean this in the best possible way, reminds me of a Jack Russell-like, just terrier-like. And she changed one direction, went another direction, and she got herself involved in a couple of... And then to finish the way she did just then in front of goal, just fantastic.
out there tonight?
Absolutely. The Lions just value the pace, the pace and speed of Ruby, and we just saw that on show there. Just fantastic work.
Collingwood win it out of the middle. The work from Fowler, gets around Campbell. Square and kick to Campbell. Too far out to score. Bumped as she kicked it. Ryder stands in the hole.
Fourth intercept mark there by Ryder tonight. 7 tackles for her.
To Bolts, who finds Anderson. Bolts kept running. Down the line for Hodder. Kicks it long in the Smith direction. Cronin now playing on her. Dakota Davidson, who Cronin has had that matchup for most of the night. The last time she was goalless, Dakota Davidson, was the corresponding game against Collingwood last year in round 6. I think she's gone 9 games since then, kicking at least a goal a game. So she's a tough player to hold scoreless. So it'll be definitely a win for the Pies.
Game's not over yet. There's still a few minutes to go, and Davidson just needs just a little sniff, and she'll kick 3 on you in 2 minutes. And we saw that last year in the grand final, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Didn't see much of the footy, and all she needed was about 5 minutes, and she did the job on the ruse.
It was tough from Ruby Spark, who kicks it inside 50. And Taylor Smith. The footy just fell into her lap. She can have a look at the goals. And this is turning into a mammoth percentage boosting win here for the Brisbane Lions.
As a development of Taylor Smith, of course, a couple of years ago, Jesse Wardlaw was playing in that lead-up tall forward role, and it's provided an opportunity for Taylor Smith to continue to grow her craft, and tonight she's put on an absolute clinic in front of goals.
You have to remember, it's just her 6th year of footy as well, the athletics background. She's causing havoc inside 50, well off to the right. It might stay in play here, but Frederick was up high and able to intercept mark cleanly here for the Magpies. And goes out wide to Davey.
Davey sends it out wide to Fowler, who's marked just inside the field of play. It down the line. Porter out to meet it, gets around Huddle, scrubs the kick around the corner. Blair attacked it hard, throws a boot at it, looking for Brazali. Ball alive at half forward for the Pies. Lions do well to bring it to a halt.
When that ball came forward for the Pies just then, there were 8 players ahead of them. 2 were Pies and 6 were Lions. It just shows you the work rate of the Lions when they lose possession.
Rowe trying to find some space to Davey, to Campbell, who's been awesome tonight for the Pies. Shoots towards goal, and it is away for a throw-in deep inside the Pies attack.
Been a better quarter for the Pies. They've let a couple of goals through, but they've had more inside 50s. In fact, they're winning that at the moment. That count at the moment, +1. Kicked a single goal. They've been better in this last quarter. Contested possession, they're winning that by 4.
James always so lively around goal. Anderson, Bolts, supplying pressure again. 5 touches in this last quarter for Poppy Bolts. 3 intercept marks in this last quarter for Matt Ryder as well. As the Lions continue to show relentless attitude. But it is Collingwood who can have a look at the goals here through their star-on-baller, Bree Davey. There's some holding in the stoppage. Davey can have a look.
Free kick going against Kathy Spark. Those two have been head-to-head for most of the night.
What a star, what a CV. AFLW Best and Fairest winner, dual All-Australian, dual Club Best and Fairest winner. Such an important player for Collingwood. She kicks a consolation goal for the Magpies. Bree Davey kicks Collingwood's 3rd major of the night. Reduces it to a 52-point differential, Shiloh. So it is Collingwood's equal biggest loss in their AFLW history. So they might avoid a slice of history. It's so good to see Britt Davey fit and firing, had a wretched run with injury at times throughout her career, but when she's up and firing, there are a few better players in the competition.
Terrific athlete and just great hands and really good work rate. The Pies will take a lot from this last quarter, and it shows when they put the contested work in, when they get their run from behind the ball, they can get the footy forward, they can play some really good footy, just need to be doing it regularly for all 4 quarters.
Davey toe posted forward. Ivy has a play at it for the Pies. Ricochets to Rowe. Sends Collingwood back inside forward 50. Is the time for one more late goal to the Pies. James swoops on us. Turned it over to Bolts. Kick is a good one and finds Ruby Spark. Bolts continues to run. Get it at half back. Seconds tick down here at Brighton Homes Arena. Brisbane will win their second game of the AFLW season.
Big win for the Brisbane Lions. They moved to 2-1 to start the AFLW season. Meanwhile, we're hitting the pointy end of the men's competition. Welcome to Finals Footy on Fox, brought to you by the Ford F-150. It is a sold-out Adelaide Oval for this do-or-die semi-final between Port Adelaide and Hawthorn. There won't.
All right, folks, there we go. That is the game. That is the result. Of course, Brisbane Lions, big winners by 52 points over the Maggies. That is their equal biggest loss of the career of the Collingwood AFLW. Of course, 52 points. That's what we heard them say before. Holy moly, spanked. You're not wrong there, Paul. Tell you what, though, the folks got it right. 26 votes, 61% said the Lions. So they got that one right again today. Let's just have a quick cap up of the disposals in this game. Look at that, Brianna Davey there for the Maggies. Ended up on top of the disposals. 24, 14 kicks, 10 handballs, 3 marks, 10 tackles, kicked a goal. Pretty good on the night. Isabel Dawes, 22. Ellie Anderson, 21. Not too bad at all. Grace Campbell there, down there for the Pies. Have a look at that. 12 disposals, 8 kicks, 4 handballs, 1 mark. 18 tackles. 18 tackles in the game. Incredible. Pottles, wait, 11 touches for the Lions. As we just roll down a little bit. Find your stats. As I said, won't be too far off before we head to the game over there. Port Adelaide and Hawthorn, of course, that's coming up in 43 minutes time. That game starts. Halves up. Let me just recap the goal scorers there for the game. Of course, 2 multiple goal scorers there, both for Brisbane. Taylor Smith, Sophie Conway, both with 3 each. Sfark, well, it must be the sisters, Ruby and Kathy Sfark. O'Dwyer and Dawes, 1 each there for the Lions. And of course, for the Maggies, Porter and Davey and Bonici, all single goal scorers for the Magpies. Just a quick wrap up of the stats. And of course, the Lions ended up 40 on top in disposals. Kicks pretty similar. Handballs 30 on top there to the Lions. Inside 50s, just a pure domination there. Let me just check the scores again. How many scoring shots? 41 inside 50s for Brisbane, but 22 scoring shots. That was fantastic effort by them. And of course, 24 inside 50s for the Pies. Well under. It's about a 33. Is that 12? Yes, about 33% under their season average for 5 scoring shots. As you can see, 58% going inside 50 efficiency against 20%. Senegal, there we go. 27 to 12 free kicks. Well, the umpires love Brisbane. There we go. Hit outs, pretty similar. Clearances, pretty similar as the centre clearances and stoppage clearances. Contested possession, a little bit better there to the Lions. Uncontested, about the same. There we go. 27 to the Lions. Turnovers, both big turnovers there tonight. 43-56, more by the Pies, of course. The marking department was all the Lions. And of course, the tackles, Lions took that out as well. But that is the final score of the game, of the match, folks. Thank everyone for coming in today to listen to this game today. The AFLW Brisbane Lions taking on the Magpies. But it was the Lions 10-12-72 defeating the Magpies 3-2-20 by 52 points. At least the Magpies took something out of that last quarter, kicking a couple of goals, and the Lions kicking 3 goals, 1 in that final quarter. And there's a lot to improve on for the Magpies, that is for sure. But the Lions class certainly told they were pretty much in control. They defended superbly. They got that good run, and they found the open space and the scores inside their forward 50, which is so important. All right, folks, that's me. I'm out of here. We'll see you on the next game, which won't be too far away, which will be, of course, the semi-final between Port Adelaide and Hawthorn. Men's AFL action is going to be a ripper. Stay tuned for that. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Cheers, Ryan, Paul, Halves, and everybody else. Brett, everybody else that popped on in today. Good stuff, fellas. We'll see you all at the Port Adelaide Hawthorn game. All right, folks. Ciao for now. We'll see you in the next one.